Starting our body of work, we acclaimed a series of concepts that we felt passionately about that involved the individual parts of Sydney and how they united the city as a whole. First, we looked at the evolution of a building separated into three distinct stages: development, debut, and dilapidation. We wanted to divide the three stages in layers, allowing the framework of the building to be on the inside, the newly revealed building on the middle layer, and the final stage of ruin on the outside. However, it presented some procedural concerns, such as the stable erection of the three buildings, and due to the limited amount of time we had to create the body of work, we thought the idea was too ambitious and decided against this. Through further development, we decided to explore the balance between arts and culture and business and commercial industries. In the Western world, our rapidly shifting economic and social climate, we are able to see the rising presence of consumerism in society. However, with that, the artistic and cultural elements of the city are often weakened and suppressed. The concept of facades comes in through the concealment of the dynamism and personality of Sydney that residents appreciate but may become a fleeting notion through the prioritisation of capitalist ideals and minimisation of culture in our current society. Sydney may appear sleek and glossy, teeming with contemporary high-rise structures. However, underneath the veil of modernism lies a rich arts and culture scene. We wanted to display the removal of arts and culture that comes with the increase in industrialism through three sculptures featuring locations of cultural significance within Sydney. The three different locations are in the form of a paper relief sculpture made by laying components of the scene onto each other and creating textures on a flat piece of cardboard. Each sculpture is detained within a box, imitating a cage, to present the confining nature of capitalist values on the hidden personality of the city. The individual pieces can also be arranged in a high-rise building silhouette that would frequently appear in the Sydney CBD, with gaps in the framework acting as peepholes for the viewer to look inside. The wooden infrastructure would drip down to exhibit commercialism permeating the other aspects of the city that affected the livelihood of Sydney. Although our plan was down pat, a challenge arose, incorporating our chosen artists into our body of work. The artists, Isidro Blasco and Katharina Gross, both have extremely distinct artistic styles, and we had to be cautious in uniting the central aspects of their work together to ensure the qualities we selected weren't awkward when melded together. To emulate Blasco's pieces, we decided to incorporate his distinct artistic style of combining wood and paper to present details within a city. We also took his cubism influence quite literally by trapping each location within a cube. Also, a recurrent point in his works is his exposing of infrastructure that a viewer would usually never see. The structure we are presenting our work in mirrors the framework of an apartment complex. Incorporating rust in our works was a bigger obstacle as we wanted our works to be washed from colour to represent the sleek but blank appearance to a city that has erased art and culture from it. However, we found our way through its adversity through first spray painting each layer with white and filling the windows with patterns that you would commonly see in Gross's works to depict the hidden personality of Sydney. In the artistic process, we encountered some difficulties in creating the work. One problem was that the cardboard we had chosen to create the paper relief sculptures on was too thick and therefore difficult to cut. We originally used thicker cardboard in fear of thinner cardboard being too flimsy to use. So through this issue, the crispiness of the shapes that were cut out was compromised. In future projects, we now know to create the work on cardstock and later add supports with cardboard if needed. Another difficulty we encountered was the logistics of how the structure would stand to be arranged as a wall mount. However, through trial and error, we were able to successfully allow the piece to stand with stability. Overall, the experience of working with balsa wood, paper, cardboard and spray paint to create sculptures was an interesting one, seeing as it is quite an unconventional art form from the traditional form of choice when depicting architecture. Working collaboratively with a partner also was a relatively new thing in art for us, so it was intriguing in using our own separate perspectives on life to contribute to the conceptual practice, and then to delegate specific tasks for each other to complete based off our individual skill set. In creating this sculpture inspired by the works of Gross and Blasco, we were able to introspectively explore our separate talents and challenge ourselves in gaining new ones, and think about Sydney in a new perspective.